Hello, we are here to talk about love in various parts of history, science, class, and antiquity. Love is an emotion or feel that causes one person to desire good for another person or something else. Although it is come to here, love is not defined, love is lived. There are several definitions for love, such as absolute dedication of one being to another, affection dictated by family ties. Perception and utilization of the beloved object and love vary with the ages and culture. In classical antiquity, love was treated as only carnal desire, and with Homer records that Agamemnon and Achilles took to themselves Chryses, Brises, and Cassandra, moved by a physical appeal only. Although the ancients tell of love like a feel for erudicy, the love they often talk about is their sexual appetite. Romance was the Greek, a kind of with possession, a slapstick and a weird love, and anyone who used such a feeling was means of choice for marriage. The myth of verse comes to be known as though, where it gives tenure where everything had its origin. The poet explained that in the beginning everything was chaos and then come the primordial goods, earth and procreation, creation of a life. As procreation is the force of extraction that would eventually unite more and more among themselves and with one another. But during the Alexandrian period, thus the god take on the form of a mischievous boy, a bride who haunts the lives of mortals and immortals. Eros become the god of love, son of Aphrodite and Ares, no longer having these cosmic dimensions, and is often depicted as a boy with wings, whose arrows promoted love adventures of mortals. Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty, whose family rivals Eros that myth attributed to her as son. Eros represented the desire to procreation, the love act, while Aphrodite and Thetis brother and rich. According to the Iliad, the Trojan War, Aphrodite is the companion of Ares, good of war hatred and violence, and under their influence takes part in the conflicts. Their love symbolized the concept of opposite attract and the ideal union of Greek man and woman.
The Middle Ages was a time when people lived under a Christian ethic that preached that man was born from sin. In this period, the marriages took place very early and for patrimonial reasons. Until the Church made marriage an oath, the vows of the bride and groom were an oath. Adultery was frequent among nobles, who, having seduced a servant without her consent, would be free from the sin after paying a small fine. In spite of all this, the woman's Catholic view prevailed, as Chrysostom had advocated: a necessary evil, natural temptation, desirable calamity, domestic danger, mortal fascination, the very evil that is in disguise. And Thomas Aquinas gave her a position inferior to that of a slave. The subjection of the woman is in accordance with the law of nature, which does not happen with the slave, since the man, not a woman, had been made in the image and likeness of God. During Romanticism, love became the essential factor of life. No other historical period has had love so present in literature. Love and its anxieties were incorporated into the daily life of 19th century romantics. The romantics built a melancholy and nostalgic imaginary world, and their main features are distancing from social reality, the experience of loss, and the search for what is lost. Poetry in love become life itself. For the West, romantic love became true love, thus definitely sealing a break with the then dominant view of Christianity that love served procreation, and kept in its legacy achievements as the fact that everyone has freedom of choice from his partner, and yet the idea that for love should be no barriers.
But after the Romantic period, love began to be treated with more selfishness and less sentimentality. The modern understanding of love, according to sentimental counselor Betty Millen, is that without love there would be no life, but that the subject is never dealt with among men who speak only of sex, whereas the subject is common among women, and this is because they are marginalized. So, love is neutralized in modernity to the detriment of sexual pleasure. The Western capitalist model, however, according to Fromm, presents a disintegration of love in society. Man becomes a being alienated from himself, his fellow man, and nature, and the world making of business and business, man becoming a mere automaton, a being unable to love. In return, the system offers palliatives that diminish the sense of loneliness, the encouragement of teen spirit. Sex seems a synonym for love that, if dysfunctional, can be solved by techniques that solve these problems. René Descartes presents as a very pertinent contribution to the understanding of the concept of passion. According to him, the passions depend on a strict relationship between body and soul. In this sense, for Descartes, we may call passion the feelings that are experienced by the soul without consent, such as love, anger, and pain, but which are generated by a movement of the body. And Pascal passion and emotion end up having at times their confused meanings. Others have differentiated them and even quoted in the same sentence. Pascal, unlike other philosophers, such as Descartes, does not give a definition of its meaning, but that we can say that also Pascal does not offer any definition of passion. We can say that it appears as an intense feeling fixed on an object whose possession is uncertain. Descartes seeks an understanding of the passions, even in the face of his great rationalism, believes in the possibility of the passions since they cannot be denied by our experience. They may even be considered obscure, but never undeniable, because by body, movement, and perceived by the soul. Even defending dualism, Descartes believes in a substantial union of body and soul in a kind of reconciling irreconcilable things. On the other hand, Pascal presents not a definite concept about the passions, but an intense feeling that is on the same level as reason. With this, Pascal firstly criticizes Descartes for his exaggerated rationalism.